About ready to tip here at Mortgage Matchup Center in Phoenix, Arizona. South Carolina and UConn. Later on tonight, Texas and UCLA. Here we go. The Final Four is underway.
See UConn starting out in a man-to-man defense. That's the player, Tessa Johnson, that they are most concerned about on the perimeter because of the way she's been shooting the threes, especially here in the tournament.
Here's Latson hooking it up and in. Difficult bucket from Tanaya Latson to get the scoring started.
Taking it right at Sarah Strong. Smart. The best defense against Sarah Strong is to try to tag her with some early fouls.
Strong a three off the mark. Sarah Williams loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with UConn.
Both coaches talked to us about the importance of the glass. Who is going to own the rebounding edge and get those second opportunities offensively?
Here's Strong, handing it off to Arnold. Connecticut, winners of 54 straight. Bud unable to hit. Okot secures that rebound for South Carolina. Here's Latson. KK Arnold, the head of the snake defensively for UConn. Constantly applying pressure. Here's Raven Johnson. 6 to shoot. Bud on Tessa. 3 to shoot. Tessa trap. Okot gets it off. And that's going to be a shot clock violation as UConn turns over South Carolina.
Anytime South Carolina has any handoff or ball screen action in the corners, UConn is going to trap. Gino Auriemma talked about shrinking the floor. You see it right there. Two players going right at Tessa Johnson, forcing a difficult look.
They play off with Williams. We saw Notre Dame do that successfully in the Elite Eight. Here's Shade forcing it up. Doesn't get the roll. And UConn has missed its first 3 attempts from the floor. Tessa Johnson run off from the corner. Needs 3 bodies, and Sarah Strong with those hands able to snatch it away. Arnold tosses in. Williams flips it up and in. And Sarah Williams, the Wisconsin transfer, is on the board in the Final Four.
Ryan, anyone who's played in this game knows the first couple of minutes you need to take a deep breath. It's hard to catch your wind, first of all, but the moment is so big you need to settle in.
Here's Latson with some space, unable to hit. Rebound poked out of bounds, and it will be UConn basketball. Last year when these teams met in the national championship game, UConn won it 82-59. This was the first regular season in 11 years where these teams did not meet. They'll pick that series back up next season. Here's Spud wrapping around. Arnold gives it back. Spud, the most outstanding player of last year's tournament. Looking for help. Shade on the cut. Williams draws 2 and still finishes.
You see both teams defensively will switch, especially on on-ball action. And that time, UConn able to make the extra pass and take advantage.
Tessa Johnson with a nice move, just couldn't quite squirt it in. Here comes Strong. Spinning, hooking. Didn't get the roll, and Okot the rebound. Good pressure from UConn, and Fudd and Shade take it away. Fudd in and out on a 3. And Raven Johnson busted down the floor for the Gamecocks. Latson the fake and the lay. Tanaya Latson has the first 2 buckets of the Final Four for the Gamecocks.
Tanaya Latson doing a really nice job off the bounce, exploding to the rim. That's one of the things she brings, is her ability to get in the paint off the dribble.
Shade adds some space, now finds a seam and lays it in. Probably a big bucket for Ashlyn Shade, who has not shot it well in this tournament. Entered this game 28% from the floor in the tourney and just 2 of 18 from 3. Okot is a threat from 3, and you can see Gino Auriemma saying, get that hand up. As that's out of bounds, off of Ocott, and KK Arnold's pressure making a difference.
Both teams want to attack the basket off the bounce, and Tanaya Latson, the best option for South Carolina, doing that great job avoiding the contest by Sarah Strong and Ashlyn Shade, especially when she's going to her right side, able to explode to the rim as well.
Shade told us the other day, all those missed shots, it doesn't matter, we're here. She also said she likes these rims better than the ones in Fort Worth.
I think everyone likes these rims better than the ones in Fort Worth.
Here's Arnold working behind Strong. Jana El Alfie in for Sarah Williams for Connecticut. A hot potato there. Strong has to pull. And hits from three. Shaking her head afterwards, was upset with the way she fumbled the ball in the beginning of the possession.
And did you see her take almost like a retreat step before stepping into that three? She just makes it look so easy as a 6'2" post player when she catches it on the perimeter.
Sarah Strong, who's been sweeping the National Player of the Year honors. Ocott, no. Strong the rebound. Pushing pace for Connecticut. Strong looking to take Edwards. Muscles, takes, and finishes. Sarah Strong separating as UConn is on a 7-0 run.
Somebody Ocott miss on the last possession. Dawn Staley said she was a little bit worried about the nerves settling in for Ocott here in her first Final Four.
That was the one player she had that concern with as Tessa slips to the cup. Tessa Johnson has always performed in these moments. Won a championship as a freshman. Strong, not that time. Ocott the rebound. Here comes the junior Tessa. Tessa's pull-up is good. 4 straight from Tessa Johnson to steady things for the Gamecocks. Shade will fire and hit from 3. A long 2 for Ashlyn Shade.
How about this pace, though? The up and down. We're under the 5-minute, but there hasn't been a whistle, so there hasn't been any timeouts yet. Players settling in smart here for South Carolina to settle it.
Raven Johnson off to Tessa. Latson on the cut. Latson adjusts. Couldn't finish it. Ocott dropped it out of bounds. It will stay with South Carolina. Timeout on the floor. Sarah Strong off to an outstanding start.
Already showing us why she's the National Player of the Year. Versatility, efficiency from the perimeter, from the mid-range, and of course can get to the rim.
Well, Gino Auriemma told me on his arrival tonight that in the 35 years since that first one in '91, they've been to 25 Final Fours, as you just mentioned, and he said it kind of reminds me of the B.B. King song. The thrill is gone, but the torture remains, and it is just as tortuous as it's always been. That winning, there's a lot of pressure on UConn, and he absorbs it and appreciates it.
Yeah, spoken like a true coach. Thank you, Hal. Edwards, mid-range, no. And the rebound, Kaylee Heckel in off the bench for UConn. Here's Heckel. Has a lot of speed. The USC transfer playing in her first Final Four. Blanca Quiñones, the impressive freshman, in off the bench. Steps out of bounds. And UConn turns it over for a second time.
Blanca Quiñones, who stepped out of bounds, she has been incredible for Connecticut, especially here in the NCAA tournament. So has it got McKee for South Carolina, 2 of the bright young freshmen in this game.
McKeer has increased her scoring so much in this tournament as Edwards can't finish. Miriam Dowd has stepped out, and it will be UConn basketball. Hey, take a look at our all-cast there. Courtside of the Women's Final Four presented by AT&T. Yeah, star-studded affair. Alona Marr, Katie Feeney, Jess Sims, and the Stud Buds.
Maybe I should start wearing shades when we call games courtside.
I just have a feeling we wouldn't make them look as good as Courtney and Letitia did. Here is Quiñones, can't finish. And the rebound bangs into the arms of Raven Johnson. Tessa Johnson fires, can't hit. Joyce Edwards, the O-board, another chance for the Gamecocks. Edwards trying to work strong. Edwards able to finish. Slipped it in with some nice footwork around Sarah Strong. Knocked away by Tessa, who steps out. And South Carolina gives it back.
Joyce Edwards has terrific footwork. Ends when she gets the ball on the post. Feels Sarah Strong on one side. Beautiful step through and finish going back to the right.
Joyce Edwards, 21 20-point games this year. The most ever by a South Carolina player under Dawn Staley. And a whistle here as the officials will get the clock right. I want to remind all of you, we have Dee Kantner with us, as we have all season long, after officiating 26 Final Fours. Dee is our rules analyst, so anything sticky comes up, Dee will be here to help guide us through it. Here's Spud, circling, kicking, 5 to shoot. Heckel fading and knocking it down. First points in the Final Four for Kaylee Heckel. Heckel told us the other day when she first got to UConn, she wondered, am I good enough? But Gino Auriemma and his team has gotten her so much better that it has grown her confidence as McKeer gets fouled by Quinones.
Kaylee Heckel here, just as the closeout comes from Tessa Johnson, getting into the meat of the paint there and able to elevate and finish.
That is our first foul of the game. McKeer drains the free throw. You talked about it before, partner. Agat McKeer, the leap she has taken, incredible. In the regular season, she averaged under 6 points per game. In the tournament, she's averaged almost 15 per game.
She makes an impact on the defensive end of the floor. She's a 6'1" guard, 6'4" wingspan. She can come out and defend, and then offensively, she's been able to make threes in the tournament. Terrific off the bounce. Dawn Staley said the bright lights of this moment are not going to faze that young woman.
Heckel looking for help in Strong. Strong hits the deck, keeps the dribble going. Strong had it poked away. Plenty of time still on the shot clock.
Interesting. Raven Johnson right now has the defensive assignment with Sarah Strong just battling her in the post.
Heckel forces it up and off. Terrific defensive possession from South Carolina. Tessa has it poked from behind, out of bounds by Strong. Stays with the Gamecocks. You know, one thing Dawn Staley emphasized to us the other day, she said, no matter what happens, you have to keep your belief every single possession against UConn. There was a moment earlier in this first where it looked like UConn might be able to really separate, but South Carolina kept that belief. Tessa Johnson answered the bell, and they have come right back. And now that is a critical foul as Blanca Quinones picks up her second personal and has to check out. She has really been the X-factor separator for Connecticut this season.
Coach Auriemma told us this morning, if Blanca plays like she did last weekend in the regionals, he said, we're going to win this game. Well, she's come out here struggling a little bit.
Take another look at that foul on Quinones.
And she just goes right through McKeer's screen. You got to go around. You cannot go through.
Dee, no doubt that's the right call, right?
I'm telling you, Rebecca is really training to be a good official. That is the correct call. Yeah, she just went right through that screen illegally.
Under a minute to go in this first quarter. First of 2 semifinals tonight in Phoenix. UCLA, Texas up next.
Again, the versatility defensively of Raven Johnson. They have her. Dawn Staley has her guarding Sarah Strong right now with this lineup in the game.
Raven Johnson, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year this season. Raven trying to come back to the basketball. Calms things down, knows the 2-for-1 is gone. About a 9-second difference game in shot clock. Tessa, hounded by Shade. Gladson, 3 to shoot. Gladson scoops it up and off. Rebound pokes around, ends up back with South Carolina. McKeer, connect on a 3. Tie game after 1. What a big O-board and finish from 3 from McKeer. 15 all after the first in Phoenix.
South Carolina is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. They get the second opportunity, and McKeer does what she does.
South Carolina and UConn tied at 15 after the first quarter of this Final Four matchup. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley.
Well, Coach, you told us earlier Agat McKeer would not be fazed by this big stage. What went through your mind when she just hit that big shot to end the quarter?
She's always ready. You know she's ready on the offensive end. If she's got an open shot, she's going to take it. I like her aggressiveness. She's got to keep doing that for as long as she's on the floor.
Your defense has stood out. Raven Johnson playing multiple positions. What stands out to you so far?
That's what Raven does. She's an elite defender. She's an elite winner. She's gonna make winning plays. So if we have to play her 1 through 5, Raven's up for the challenge.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Holly.
And now for our slam dunk matchup brought to you by Wendy's.
Raven Johnson is 5'9", and Dawn Staley has decided to put her on 6'2" Sarah Strong. And look at Raven. She is just connected to Sarah Strong, understands that she has to keep the ball out of her hands. And even when Sarah Strong has gotten position in the post or tried to get position in the post, watch here. Raven Johnson just battling, trying to get leverage, move her out of the way. She has stepped up to the challenge of defending the National Player of the Year.
Raven Johnson has taken a huge leap, came back for an additional year at South Carolina, and it has paid massive dividends for Raven and for the Gamecocks. Start of the second quarter, Blanca Quiñones on the bench with 2 fouls for UConn. Here's Spud, guarded by McKeer. UConn having a tough time getting it going. Raven Johnson is going to get called for the foul in pursuit of the ball. Looked like she had a fistful of jersey first and then finally got called on the push after the knockaway. That's the first personal on Raven Johnson.
You see her just battling in the post. And then when the ball went to the midcourt, just going after it. You have to credit her. After Sarah Strong goes down, one of the hands there to pick her up was Raven Johnson.
Here is Strong, guarded by Johnson. Shade off the bounce. Shade will fire a deep 3. No. Williams trying to get to the glass, and her last hits her. Hey, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Final Four begins tomorrow, 6 Eastern on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. UConn men and women both in the Final Four. 2 times they have both won it previously in the same season. Johnson, Edwards, Latson, Okat, and McKeer, the 5 for South Carolina. Arnold, Bud, Strong, Shade, and Sarah Williams for UConn. Okat giving some space. Johnson twisting, taking, can't hit. Strong the rebound. Pressure in the backcourt from South Carolina. Here comes KK Arnold. Bud needs body. Strong open. Can't hit. Long board. Bud able to save it and is fouled by Raven Johnson. And that'll be number 2 on her. So now 2 on Raven Johnson and 2 on Blanca Quiñones.
This is a huge call on Raven Johnson here as her second. We've established how important she is on the defensive end, but running the show offensively as well for South Carolina.
D, is that the right call there on the slap of the right arm from Raven Johnson?
Actually, I think what you're looking at, that second angle showed us best, is actually the left hand in the middle of the back that forces her out. You can't just call the out of bounds on that situation, have to go with the foul.
All right, thank you, D, our rules analyst. Spent 36 seasons as an NCAA official, 5 seasons in the NBA, 26 Final Fours. Bud loses it. Latson has it. Denia Latson dashes to the cup.
We've seen already here earlier, one of the things that's so impressive about South Carolina has been all season long is the pressure they put on you on the defensive end of the floor, even make catching the basketball difficult.
Latson second in the country in fast break points per game. Bud off, rebound Latson. Bud now 0-3 from the floor. Latson storming in, gets denied by Strong, and it will stay with South Carolina.
Denia Latson is a much improved defender this season. It's one of the areas that she has grown for South Carolina. Gets the steal out to the easy 2. And then Sarah Strong, we know what she can do on the defensive end of the floor, not only with her steals, but her ability to block shots.
Sarah Strong averaging over 1.5 blocks per game. Quinones in for UConn, playing with those 2 fouls. McKeer can't finish it. Okot, the offensive rebound. And another chance for the Gamecocks.
Dawn Staley said the one thing we need from Okot is to get 20 boards here tonight. She said rebounding is not a skill, it's a decision. She has to be thrilled with the way her center has gone and attacked the glass.
She has 4 already in South Carolina, +7. There's Strong on the steal. Strong gets fouled by McDaniel. And Sarah Strong will shoot 2.
Sarah Strong has the defensive instincts of a guard and terrific hands, and you see there just a paw full of basketball as she goes the other way and gets fouled.
Sarah Strong, one of 5 players all time with 3 games of at least 5 or more steals in a single NCAA tournament. You see her numbers, the only player averaging 20 or more at 60% from the floor against South Carolina while Dawn has been there. And I love the analogy that Gino Auriemma used with us earlier in the season. He said, it's almost like LT back in the day in football, where if you had the football anywhere around him, you're worried about him just on his own taking it away. Sarah Strong has those kind of hands defensively.
Instincts, the quick nature of her hands, and the way she's just able to corral the ball, to strengthen them as well.
17-16, South Carolina in front. Arnold trying to work McDaniel. McDaniel gets fouled on the floor. And KK Arnold picks up her first.
KK Arnold is going to make life difficult for any ball handler that she is defending out on the perimeter. That time, too much contact.
McDaniel, who has grown a lot throughout this season, as a sophomore for South Carolina. Tessa lays it in. Quinones had to be careful there, playing with 2.
Smart to continue to attack players in foul trouble.
Largest lead for South Carolina. Arnold can't finish the lay. Here comes Johnson. Tessa tosses in. Edwards, the footwork, and the finish. It's a 5-point Gamecock lead.
South Carolina has been deliberate, either off the bounce or entering it into the post, but getting their touches in the paint.
An 11-1 South Carolina run. Strong lost it off her foot, out of bounds. UConn discombobulated right now on the offensive end.
Tessa Johnson just working off of screens and then attacking the rim on the switch. And Joyce Edwards, direct entry power over the left shoulder. Nice finish.
UConn, such a prodigious 3-point shooting team, 1 of 6 thus far. Shade knocks it away. UConn comes up with it. Here's Quinones. Couldn't get around Edwards. Shade bodies in and banks it home. It's like a pinball. And it looked like she might have twisted an ankle in the process, limping a little bit as she hustles back on defense. Shade already with 6 points tonight. Tessa Johnson skates through, can't swirl it in. Edwards the putback, rims off. This time Strong secures the rebound, but South Carolina has dominated on the glass in this first half.
South Carolina has the size and they have the players with the instinct to get to the glass. It's one of the areas they've been very good all season long. 17-9 advantage on the boards for the Gamecocks. They have 7 offensive rebounds. Bud out to Strong. Doesn't take. Gonna drive it instead and finish the lay. 8 points for Sarah Strong, showing some emotion there. Lead is back to just 1 for South Carolina midway through the second quarter. UCLA, Texas up next. Championship game Sunday afternoon on ABC. Okot on the drive, gets denied by Strong. Edwards can't flip it in. Loose ball, Quinones has it.
And possession arrow belongs to UConn. Timeout on the floor. What a competitive first half thus far.
Sarah Strong has been Connecticut's best offense, attacking the glass, able to finish the shot, showing some emotion as well.
Yes, it's been a good one thus far. The emotion, the intensity, the rivalry. UConn, South Carolina, living up to the billing. Quite the second quarter and first half that Tim and our crew have been capturing. South Carolina, a 1-point lead. They've dominated the glass. McKeer can't finish. Strong off the rebound, pedaling ahead. Here's Strong behind the back, mid-range, too much on it. Got it back though, Strong can lay it in. And McKeer comes down with it as we check in with Holly Rowe.
In that last huddle, Gino Auriemma told his team, everybody needs to take a deep breath right now. There's 4 minutes left in this half, and we haven't even really started to play our kind of basketball yet. He said it's too much one-on-one. I need AZ, Sarah, and Blanca start playing together, run some actions off each other. Do the stuff we've done in practice. Too much one-on-one. We got to get more ball action.
Well, that time, Sarah Strong tried to force it into Fudd. Turns it over. The length and athleticism of South Carolina's played a difference defensively.
And the verve that we feel from them on the defensive end of the floor, their activity both with their feet and hands.
Latson working behind Edwards. Latson, no. And Strong the rebound. That's her fifth.
And this is a much smaller lineup for South Carolina. Grace Edwards at the 5. Matches up a little bit better with what when UConn goes small.
But fires in, Quinones puts it down in a crowd. Somehow was able to hang on and finish. First points of the game for Blanca Quinones, who in the Elite Eight became the first UConn player with 20 points off the bench in an Elite Eight game later in the tournament. Tessa bounces, Edwards. Off the mark. Arnold caught flat-footed. Edwards couldn't put it in. Here comes Fudd. Fudd wheeling into the paint. AZ Fudd is on the board. With her first field goal, the Final Four, and UConn back in front.
AZ Fudd so vitally important to Connecticut on both ends of the floor, but they need her offense. This is a team who has shot the 3-ball well all season long, not necessarily here in the tournament, and she's their main gun from the perimeter.
South Carolina will take a timeout. 2:08 to go in the first half. UConn a 1-point lead on a tightly contested opening half in the Final Four. How about Sarah Strong when it comes to UConn leaders through their first 2 seasons at the school? First all-time in steals, second all-time in points, trailing only Maya Moore, second in assists, trailing only the legend Diana Taurasi, and second in rebounds, trailing only Tina Charles. Just astounding company for this sophomore. Some of that company in the building. Diana Taurasi, Paige Beckers, catching the action courtside tonight in Phoenix. Diana, 3-time champion UConn, and Paige, of course, a champion last year. And Sarah Strong just passed Paige Beckers for the most points in the first 2 NCAA tournaments that a UConn player has played in. It's interesting because Gino Auriemma actually compared Sarah Strong to Diana Taurasi to us the other day. He said, some people think, oh, she's like Maya, or oh, she's like Stu. He said, no, she's much more like Diana Taurasi in trying to bring along a group the way Diana did in her later years at UConn. As we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Ryan, he also said that she has the same killer instinct that Diana Taurasi has. She might seem calm on the outside, but she is so competitive. We've seen her show emotion here already tonight. And she was actually pretty fired up in their huddle against Notre Dame in the Sweet 16. And after the game, she went up to her teammates and said, I'm so sorry I was yelling out there. But that competitive fire is in her. She's just got to get comfortable making sure her teammates allow her to have that voice.
Well, and Holly, your teammates said, no, don't apologize. We like it when you yell like that. Heckel takes it away from Edwards. 3-on-1 developing. Not well executed by Heckel. Here's Strong. Mid-range off the mark. Rebound, Latson. Latson having a very productive opening half. Held up here, and the possession arrow belongs to UConn. Two big defensive plays in a row for Kaylee Heckel. Hey, coming up, it's the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. Yeah, hi, ladies. Janae, Christine, Drea, yeah. Our fabulous analysts looking fabulous as always. 9 turnovers for South Carolina in this opening half. Here's Strong turning the corner. Shade of 3 is good. Ashlyn Shade getting it done in the Phoenix Sun.
Credit Sarah Strong with the penetrating kick, drawing the defenders, giving Ashlyn Shade the time and space for the 3.
They call it a 2 for Shade. So the second time that Shade has had her toe on the line on a long jump shot.
Sarah Strong is just going to get so much defensive attention, surrounded by 4. Tessa Johnson leaves Shade and then recovers. She's finally found her stroke, as you mentioned, had been struggling through the first 4 games of this tournament.
Here's Fudd firing. No. McDaniel the rebound, blasting into the front court, has a ton of speed. McDaniel had it knocked away, but a foul. As Heckel is able to hold up defensively there. But McDaniel is fouled. Lazy Fudd in this first half, 0 for 3 from 3. 1 of 5 from the floor. One of the things Gino Auriemma talked to us about the other day, he said, I don't think people realize when you were a senior, the weight of the world that's on your shoulders this weekend. Everyone's looking at you. He said, now when you play great, it feels good in a way that you can't understand unless you've done it, which AZ did last year. He said, but unless you've been there, you just can't comprehend what those seniors are feeling. And he mentioned not only AZ, but a Raven Johnson, a Rory Harmon, a Lauren Betts this weekend.
He said, and because he knows the weight that they're already carrying, he tries not to put any extra pressure on the seniors at the Final Four.
Here's Fudd, giving it up. Heckel, little pull-up jumper, won't go. Shade comes in with the rebound. Fudd, a wide open 3 is off the mark. O'Cott the rebound. South Carolina can hold for a final shot. Tessa Johnson gets it in the arms of McDaniel. South Carolina has dominated the glass in this first half. A +9. McDaniel kicks. Edwards, 3 seconds left. Pops it up and off. And that will do it for the first half. A back and forth opening 20 minutes. And UConn, a 2-point lead over South Carolina. Both defenses flexing in that opening half, and Holly Rowe is with Sarah Strong.
Sarah, Gino just said in your huddle that you guys had to settle down, take a deep breath. What happened coming out of that huddle because you've now taken the lead?
I think we still take a deep breath. We were kind of split up that half, that quarter. But just taking our time and getting shots that we want.
You're getting a lot of attention right now defensively. How are you navigating that?
I'm just playing off of my teammates. They're sending me good screens. I'm going to set better screens. Get them open because they're denying me hard.
How do you change the rebounding margin right now? They're big margin.
Just get the mentality we got to rebound. We want to. We got to want to. We just got to do better.
Thanks so much.
All right, Sarah Holly, thank you very much. Sarah Strong, 8 points, 6 rebounds. UConn, a 2-point lead at the half in this Final Four matchup. Time to send things to Christine, Drea, and Chene with our halftime show. South Carolina +8 on the glass in that first half. UConn with its lowest scoring half this season. And UConn trailed nearly as much in that first half as they did the first 4 games of the tournament combined. Here we go, third quarter action. Third time in the last 5 seasons these two teams are meeting in the Final Four. Raven Johnson had it knocked off of her out of bounds. Great dig from Arnold. And it's been the Connecticut defense that has allowed them to maintain a 2-point lead. That's the 10th turnover they've forced.
UConn playing to their strength, forcing turnovers. South Carolina playing to theirs, getting to the offensive glass.
Bud misses everything. And Gino Auriemma, I think he was very upset she did not take the initial look from three when she had it. One thing he has emphasized to us over and over again through the years, I don't care if Azzi's missing. I want to make sure she keeps shooting.
He wants her to continue to be aggressive on the offensive end of the floor.
And you wonder if at this point the misses are in her head at all. With the way the sharpshooters struggle. Okot able to finish over Williams. Medina Okot with her first points of the Final Four.
Deliberate play to get Okot on the block, get her the ball, and let her make an easy one.
Bud and Quiñones with just 2 points apiece in that first half for UConn. Arnold, Williams, easy interception there, tossed it right to Okot. Edwards trapped, finds Johnson. Raven floats it off, gets it back, can't put it in, loose ball, Okot has it. Tessa Johnson on the drive, unable to lay it in. Missed opportunity there for South Carolina, some great looks at the rim. Bud doesn't take the three. Shade on the drive, draws two. And then Raven Johnson comes up with a steal. Raven will lay that one in.
You see Raven back on the floor after picking up those 2 fouls in the first half. Now defending Azzi Fudd, not Sarah Strong, who's defending Strong is where she got her fouls.
But again hesitates. Gonna drive it, misses the scoop. Shade will back it out for UConn. Strong firing away, can't hit. Latson off the rebound. Latson shovels, Okot gets fouled by Strong. And that'll be the first personal on Sarah Strong.
Raven Johnson just jumping the route, knowing the ball is being passed up top and getting easy to the other way. Coach Auriemma frustrated. We've seen South Carolina both halves do a really nice job, whether it's on steals or even off defensive boards, of being intentional, pushing pace the other way, testing UConn's transition defense.
Okot hits the first free throw. For a little more on Medina Okot, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Medina is an incredible story. She didn't touch a basketball in life until 2019, growing up in a small farm community in Kenya. Really started training it. It took her about 3 weeks to learn how to dribble, and learn the rules, and even learn how to play basketball. But now here she is playing in a Final Four. It's been a quick tutorial, but she has been a fast learner and doing very well.
Great stuff, Hal. Just a remarkable story. A 6-0 run from South Carolina. KK Arnold into the paint. Good footwork and banks it in. First points of the game for KK Arnold. And if Azzi Fudd is going to keep turning down shots, UConn may need an Arnold to step up her offensive production.
And one of the things Coach Auriemma was telling us this morning is that we don't have a player who can just go get a shot out of the pick and roll game. They were able to rely on Paige Bueckers a lot doing that last year.
Edwards slides inside for two. 8 points for Joyce Edwards. Shade can't hit. Sarah Williams couldn't hang on. Fudd after it, and another chance for UConn. And then Fudd has it poked away by Raven Johnson. Johnson unable to finish, and no foul on Fudd. Looked like she was draped all over Raven Johnson. Gino Auriemma calling out a play to KK Arnold. Shade with space. Missed it. UConn, a paltry 1 of 11 from 3. Latson gets fouled, and it'll stay here with South Carolina.
KK Arnold has the quickness to get into the paint, and then you see the footwork to spin around and finish as well. And if you're talking about footwork, how about Joyce Edwards here, just getting inside, leaning in, finishing, strong, avoiding the foul.
Blanca Quiñones will check in for UConn along with Kaylee Eccles. So now UConn goes with their small lineup, which they weren't able to deploy a ton in the first half because of Quiñones' foul trouble. As Latson hits the free throw. One thing Gino Auriemma emphasized to us the other day, he said, well, people ask, why don't you start Blanca Quiñones? But I always love having someone who can come off the bench and change a game. Blanca is that for us this year. And how about this? This is the largest deficit UConn has faced this season, trailing by 6. In their 54-game winning streak, only one of those wins was decided by single digits. That was against Michigan earlier this year. Heckel missed everything. Here comes Latson. McKeer connects.
And again, South Carolina pushing pace, and they can do it as well when they go small, which is where they've gone here to counter Connecticut.
UConn needs a timeout. It's a 12-2 South Carolina run.
South Carolina getting it done on the defensive end, pushing the other way. McKeer with a nice looking mid-range J.
South Carolina an 8-point third quarter lead on UConn. Largest deficit the Huskies have faced this season. Still to come, Madison Booker, Rory Harmon, the Stars of Texas, taking on UCLA. That's up next here on ESPN. Meanwhile, Rebecca, people wondering, well, why is UConn undefeated this season? It's because of their prodigious three-point shooting. That has not been the case in the tournament, and it certainly has not been the case tonight. Quiñones on the drive, misses wildly. Down the floor, great hands from Edwards. Tessa Johnson backing away, firing short, and the rebound Shade midway through this third. Fudd on a bullet pass out to Quiñones. Shade curling, taking. How good has Ashlyn Shade been? 10 points on 5 of 9 shooting.
Ashlyn Shade has saved all of her makes in the tournament for this national semifinal game.
Entered this game shooting 28.5% from the floor in the tournament. McKeer off to Edwards. Edwards able to finish through some contact. Big bucket for Joyce Edwards, who's in double figures.
She's had a number of really tough finishes here tonight.
Quiñones has it knocked away. Latson running with Edwards. Bud digs in and fouls Edwards. That'll be the third team foul on UConn in this third as Joyce Edwards takes a moment, but appears okay. Timeout on the floor, 4:16 to go in the third. South Carolina trying to end the 54-game UConn winning streak. The Gamecocks with an 8-point third quarter lead. Let's take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance.
South Carolina has raised their level of intensity on the defensive end here in the third quarter. Raven Johnson on this play just reads the pass perfectly, able to get out and get an easy two. And then the pick on AZ Fudd going the other way. Pick on Blanca Quiñones as Edwards came in as a weak side defender to help. South Carolina just feels so comfortable right now out there and intense, and feels like they have a real strong belief in their ability to win this game, and you don't feel those same things from UConn.
Well, UConn has looked flustered. South Carolina outscoring the Huskies 14-4 in the third. And you see Sarah Strong, just one made field goal since midway through the first. Hasn't really gotten touches here in this third. Here's Edwards, gets the whistle against Strong, and Joyce Edwards is going to go to the line to shoot two.
Joyce Edwards has simply had an aggressive mindset all game long. Looking to take it right at Sarah Strong when the opportunity arises.
Second personal on Strong. For the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Edwards misses both, and Strong grabs the rebound, her 7th. Heckel, Strong, Quinones, Fudd, and Shade, the 5 for UConn. Here's Strong getting a touch in deep. Missed the bunny, a rare miss from there for Sarah Strong as South Carolina comes away with the basketball. Strong now 3 of 12 from the floor. Here's Johnson handing it off. McKeer going behind the back. McKeer can't finish. Good D there from Fudd. Heckel off and running for UConn. Shade will fire. Can't hit. Rebound poked out. Loose ball. South Carolina had it. Shade had Fudd to her left but decided to shoot it herself. Latson can't lay it in, and a whistle is going to put Latson at the line, and I believe it's going to be on Quinones, and it will be her 3rd. Yeah, clearly jumps into the path of Latson. D, any issues with that?
Well, you have your trail official coming from deep who has that lane of vision to see that A to B contact on the body. There's nothing on the arm, but she does get the body contact. Wyatt came kind of late from the trail, who has that lane of vision.
All right, thank you, D. A rules analyst, D. Cantor with us. All Final Four long. A 10-point South Carolina lead. First double-digit deficit UConn has faced this season. They just cannot get anything easy on this end. Heckel, bunny jumper, won't go. Strong able to yank it back, and UConn has the possession arrow.
Connecticut just simply not able to run their normal fluid offense because of the pressure from South Carolina here. Sarah Strong forcing the tie-up.
Heckel into Strong, off the window, couldn't get it to go. In a crowd, Heckel forces it out to Shade. Shade doesn't take the 3. Heckel will fire, and hit. That's a huge one for UConn. They had been 1 of 11 from downtown.
It's one of the reasons Kaylee Heckel is in the game instead of KK Arnold. Also a terrific defender, but brings more offense than Arnold does.
Got it at 37% from 3 this season. Here's Raven Johnson with 2:10 to go in the 3rd. Latson a 3. Back ironing off. Rebound UConn. Trying to put 2 possessions together. Something they haven't been able to do in the 3rd. Strong getting the touch. Strong back to Shade. Shade on the drive. Has it deflected. Fudd over to Quinones. Her 3 is good.
UConn is simply a different team when they are able to make their shots from the perimeter. Multiple players who shoot at a high efficiency just haven't done so for most of this game.
Heckel trailing, going for the steal, and Raven Johnson stepped out of bounds.
A 10-point game goes to a 4-point game pretty quickly. When you have players who can make shots from 3, you see the effort from Heckel. Then she gets up, able to relocate to the baseline corner, drain the 3, and then the ensuing possession. Blanca Quinones hitting from up top.
They were 1 of 11 now, 2 for their last 2. Fudd, can she get in on the act? You bet! It's a 9-0 UConn run. 3 straight threes. How does South Carolina respond now? And that's going to be a foul on Zabel. South Carolina in the bonus. And so Tessa Johnson will go to the line.
Making threes, much like missing threes, can be contagious, and certainly AZ Fudd here has caught that bug along with her teammates from the perimeter.
Started 1 of 11, 3 for their last 3. Tessa Johnson, 81% on the season, carries the first free throw. South Carolina, meanwhile, as a team, just 1 of 4 from 3 in this game. Johnson, their biggest threat from downtown, 0 for 2. Here is Fudd. Fudd with space, didn't take it. Quinones will, and can't get it to go. An air ball out of bounds off of Heckle. South Carolina can essentially hold for a final shot here with just a slight differential. Maddie McDaniel, check in for Raven Johnson. Pressure in the backcourt from Heckle. Quinones has 3 personals. McDaniel will let some clock wind. You can see Dawn Staley saying, wait a second. South Carolina, no field goals the last 4+ minutes. Double comes. Johnson baseline. Jumper is good. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Strong with some haste. 2 seconds. Strong gets it off. Can't hook it in. Tessa Johnson scores the final 4 of the third after Connecticut had cut it to 1. They cut it to 1 on 3 straight threes. AZ Fudd with the last of them. Gino Auriemma chats with Holly when we come back. South Carolina, 5-point lead as we get ready to start the 4th quarter of this Final Four matchup. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with UConn head coach Gino Auriemma.
Well, Coach, a kind of wild turn of events. Sarah Strong's jersey is split right down the middle. I saw you speaking to the refs about it. What message did you try to convey?
Right. There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us. And they've been beating the shit out of our guys down there the entire game. And I'm not making excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot. But this is ridiculous. Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear. And now we get 6-0, and I got a kid with a ripped jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man. This is for the national championship.
Well, Gino Auriemma clearly upset at the disparity in fouls. Now, here is a physical play that Gino was upset about, that Sarah Strong endured on that final possession, as Strong hooked it up inaccurately, and then Sarah Strong actually rips the jersey herself. Now, we could not tell whether or not it was torn a little bit before she did that, but clearly she made the big tear. And now Sarah Strong is actually going to have to switch jerseys and wear number 55 for UConn here in this 4th quarter. Dee Kander, our rules analyst, want to bring you in. There wasn't necessarily any singular play in that third we examined and saw fault with, but what's your reaction to the commentary there from Gino and seeing the difference in the fouls called in the third?
Well, all I can say is that play that you just showed of Sarah Strong going to the basket, there is no illegal contact evident, and her shirt wasn't ripped prior to her doing that. I mean, obviously, maybe there was a little tear before. It is unusual to go through an entire quarter without a foul on the team, but there's nothing that has that's really stuck out evidently that they are missing.
All right, thank you very much, Dee. Here we go, 4th quarter, a trip to the national championship game on the line. McDaniel goes baseline, can't finish it. Strong comes down with a rebound, and Nair does get a whistle.
And in fairness to Coach Auriemma, I don't know that he was specifically talking about that one play. You saw him throughout the entirety of the 3rd quarter showing some frustration. with fouls being called on his team and not on South Carolina.
Clearly a foul there on Edwards that was called. After no fouls on the Gamecocks in the third. It's spicy in Phoenix. Here's Fudd. Fudd on the drive. Little floater won't go. McKeer comes up with a rebound. Here's McKeer all the way in. Lays it home. Got McKeer, a difference maker off the bench in the Final Four.
He's an incredibly fearless player, in particular on the offensive end.
And after UConn had shaved the 10-point deficit down to 1, it's South Carolina who has scored 6 straight points. Here's Strong. Poked away by Edwards. Quinones after it. So is Strong. And a foul on Edwards. That'll be her second.
So the ball goes up. South Carolina, the rebound. They got McKeer. Remember, this is a 6'1" guard, able to blaze the other way, finish over a defender. The future is so bright for this young woman.
Dawn Staley talked about how she had absolutely no worries about McKeer in this stage, how she's built for it. As Edwards picks up another foul, her third already in this fourth.
See the cut by Sarah Strong coming across. A little bit of a nudge.
I mean, D, is the messaging from Gino playing out here as Fudd connects her second straight three.
Well, I'm not in the officials' head, but obviously coaches do impart their opinions to try to persuade officials.
Thank you, D. McKeer gets fouled by Fudd.
Azzi Fudd coming alive from deep the last couple of minutes. A really nice screen by Sarah Strong as Azzi Fudd gets the look in the corner. You see her teammates feeling a little bit fired up.
Azzi Fudd, a historically great three-point shooter, 45.5% on the season. After missing her first 4 attempts, has hit her last 2. 4-point game. UCLA, Texas up next. Raven Johnson's leaner drops off. Quinones the board. Here comes Arnold. Strong into the lane. Strong can't finish. Gets the rebound back. Quinones. No. UConn now 5 of 17 as Heckel comes up with a steal. How many big plays has she made on the defensive end tonight? Bailey Heckel's first Final Four. Heckel on the drive, denied by the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Raven Johnson.
Katie Heckel just reading the eyes, gets the fingertip and able to corral the basketball defensively. And then Raven Johnson is an elite shot blocker from the guard position.
Fudd will get it into Arnold. 4-point Gamecocks lead. Fudd curling, catching, taking. No. And McKeer the rebound for South Carolina. Strong trying to knock it away. Fudd comes in. Every possession just so intense right now. Edwards gets fouled by Strong, and that'll be number 3 on Sarah Strong. Hey, this year's NFL Draft is in Pittsburgh. The 3-day event begins Thursday, April 23rd at 8 Eastern. We'll have every pick once again on ESPN, along with our usual expert analysis. It's also available on the NFL Network. And, as always, ABC's coverage focuses on the prospect's journey to the draft. So 3 on Edwards, 3 on Strong, 3 on Quinones. Johnson waiting. Arnold battling, took it away. And that's going to be a held ball. UConn has has the possession arrow.
Hickey Arnold did a terrific job icing the screen, forcing Johnson to stay on the right side of the floor, and then right at the correct moment, reaches in and able to get the steal.
14 South Carolina turnovers. UConn this season first in the nation in points off of turnovers. Just under 33 a game. Bud, the senior, off to Strong, the sophomore. Quiñones, the freshman, gets fouled by McKeer. And Quiñones will shoot two.
Great cut by Quiñones, and then Sarah Strong read it perfectly. Probably led her with her eyes, knowing that the cut would be there. I mean, delivers it between two defenders, and Blanca now with an opportunity to get two at the line.
Quiñones at the line as we check in with Holly Rowe.
One of the more intriguing journeys in March Madness, Blanca Quiñones was a 12-year-old playing in Ecuador when some scouts from the Italian national team saw her play. She was so good, they convinced her and her mother to move to Italy. She started playing with the senior national team, 13 years old. She's been there playing and playing professionally. It is hard to believe she's just a freshman, but that professional experience in Italy is paying off well. She has seemed comfortable in this tournament. Early foul trouble set her aside today, but that experience internationally has served her well.
No doubt, Ollie, 15-plus points her first 4 tournament games. 2-point game now in this fourth. McDaniel wrapping in and banking it home. What a big bucket from Maddie McDaniel.
South Carolina spent quite a bit of time yesterday working against the full court pressure, handled it beautifully there.
Shade on the attack. Shade couldn't finish. Here comes McDaniel, has a lot of speed. Latson trying to get around Quiñones. Will they score the bucket? No. They will call the foul on the floor, but that's a critical one. Number 4 on Blanca Quiñones.
Tanaya Latson simply attacking the closeout, getting Quiñones in tough position and able to draw her fourth.
All right, 6 minutes to go in the fourth. If you're Gino Auriemma, are you thinking about Quiñones' foul trouble here or just riding her?
I think you might look to put Heckel back in for a couple of minutes.
And now Gino not making that move. Gonna ride out the freshman with 4 fouls. McDaniel struggling to get it in. Off to McKeer, a deep 3. You bet!
Dawn Staley told us that Agathe McKeer was fearless, and she expected her to perform under the bright lights of the Final Four, and certainly that has been the case in this game so far.
It's UConn, it's South Carolina, it's Gino, it's Dawn. It's the 2 programs that have dominated the landscape in recent history. And UConn, of course, extending far beyond that. South Carolina trying to make their 5th title game since 2017. Connecticut has won 54 straight games. They have won those games by an average of 36 points per. Only one of those games has been decided by single digits. That was earlier this fall against Michigan. And every time UConn has cut it to 2 or 1, South Carolina has had the answer. This last possession, it was McKeer from 3. So where does UConn go here in a big possession of this fourth?
You would want Sarah Strong to be involved in some way, whether she's looking for her own or initiating as the passer.
She has not scored in the second half. Quiñones on the bench. Here is Strong getting a touch, kicking to the corner. Bud, not that time, too much on it. UConn has missed its last 6 shots. South Carolina has not missed off of passes in this second half, 7 for 7. They have been the aggressors tonight. Edwards, 7 to shoot. Edwards flips it up and off. Sarah Williams and off the bench for UConn with the rebound. Williams with South Carolina sagging way off of her. Shade, guarded by McDaniel, 8 to shoot. Fudd trying to come free, hounded by Tessa Johnson. Strong will fire and hit. A huge three for the Huskies. And Sarah Strong's first points of the second half. The National Player of the Year has been held in check by this South Carolina defense. McKeer on the drive, can't flip it in. Williams the box out. An opportunity for UConn. Arnold blitzing into the paint, gets denied by Edwards, who controls it. Then Edwards in some trouble, able to save it to McDaniel. Latson just gets it across. McKeer lays it in.
Heads-up play by Latson, and South Carolina, understanding there was only 4 more seconds to get the ball over midcourt, did, and it led to the easy layup.
McKeer now with 14. Fudd didn't take. Out to Strong. Strong on the drive, the mid-range, short. Williams battling, and it's out of bounds off of UConn.
Joyce Edwards coming in and able to get the block on KK Arnold, and then there's the fight for the ball. Leads to the breakaway from McKeer on the other end. South Carolina all game really done a good job pushing the ball up the floor quickly.
And Gino Auriemma was concerned about the Gamecocks in transition. The focus of his and shoot around today. 6 points, South Carolina lead coming on 3 minutes to go. Latson on the drive. Okot, oh yes! The lead is back to 8 for South Carolina. UConn running out of time. Fudd through the lane, can lay it in. UConn shooting a measly 32% from the floor. This is the team with the #1 field goal percentage in the country this season, 52%. Strong nearly knocked it away, now does. Strong after it, can't save it. 8 on the shot clock. Heckel will check in for UConn.
Kamaya Latson driving. She's done a good job. Dribble penetrating there. Okot ends up with it, able to finish.
2:11 to go in this fourth. South Carolina ball, an 8-point lead with 8 on the shot clock. Let's send things over to Holly.
Well, guys, you remember in the national championship game last year, UConn just absolutely embarrassed South Carolina 82-59. And when Raven Johnson and her teammates got into the South Carolina weight room in this offseason for their first workout, their terrific performance coach, Molly Benetti, had that score up. That was a reminder, and that's what drove them this entire offseason to remember that's not who we are, and that's not how we play on this stage. What a turnaround for South Carolina, driven by that motivation all offseason.
Terrific story, Al. And South Carolina all night long has been the aggressors. UConn has looked tentative at times. And the Gamecocks with the 8-point lead, 8 on the shot clock. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. UConn still with a foul to give. And it's not Quinones on the floor yet for UConn. Strong, Heckel, Shade, Arnold, and Fudd. That is a really small lineup for the Huskies.
But also a very quick and good defensive lineup for UConn.
Johnson open, off the mark, rebound knocked around. Latson able to grab it for South Carolina, and McDaniel will run some clock.
Latson has been outstanding on the glass this entire game. That was her 10th board, the 5'9" guard.
Averages under 3 a game. Latson on the drive, gets fouled by Arnold, and Tanaya Latson will go to the line. South Carolina has completely controlled this second half. A reminder, Texas and UCLA coming up next on ESPN. And the title game will be Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. The Bruins getting ready.
Both UConn and South Carolina doing some offensive, defensive substituting right now.
4 members of the Gamecocks in double figures. Latson buries the free throw. And Tanaya Latson came to South Carolina to try and round out her game, prepare for the pros, and play in a Final Four. She's known as just a scorer at Florida State. She's done all the little things here tonight, including the 10 rebounds. You see the last time UConn was held under 50. It was South Carolina in the 2022 title game. Heckel coughs it up. Edwards trapped in the backcourt. Johnson gets it ahead. And a foul applied by Fudd will put Edwards at the line. A 71% free throw shooter. But it's going to take a basketball miracle for UConn to overcome a 10-point deficit at this juncture with the way they have struggled to score tonight against South Carolina. Edwards buries the first. Largest lead of the night for the Gamecocks. Misses the second. Strong the rebound. There's 3 second-half points for Sarah Strong. Fudd has just 8 on the night. Heckel left alone. Misses the layup. And it's been that kind of night for UConn. And you just feel for a young woman and those instant tears after a moment like that. Well, UConn, 6 undefeated seasons in their history. All other schools have 4 combined. But it does not look like there will be a 7th during this 54-game winning streak. They've had 1 game decided by single digits. The average margin of victory over 36. Tied for the 4th longest winning streak in Division I history, with South Carolina 65 seconds away from ending it. And there's been so many contributors for the Gamecocks, Rebecca. But Agathe McKeer, the freshman off the bench, a massive impact.
I mean, you see how quick she is when she's pushing the ball the other way. She has been fearless all night. Whether it's taking 3-point shots or attacking the rim, getting out in transition. Working hard in the defensive end as well. Dawn Staley said the lights would not be too bright, and that is certainly the case.
Connecticut, after the Sarah Strong 3 with 4:39 to go, had cut the deficit to 4. With South Carolina 7-0 since. Rebecca, you and I were talking about in the breaks. In South Carolina, they have just clearly been the better team so far tonight against UConn.
They have looked like the more comfortable team the entire time, the more confident team. And I think one of the reasons Connecticut hasn't been comfortable, in particular on the offensive end, is South Carolina's defense. But Final Four games are challenging. They're hard mentally as well. And it just feels like South Carolina has been unbothered for all of this game.
Latson with a double-double in her first Final Four. And Latson makes it a 13-point game. 1 minute to go.
Smart. South Carolina picking up to slow Connecticut down.
Strong backs away. UConn needs threes in a hurry. Fudd can't give him one there. Raven Johnson the rebound. Latson breaks the timeline, and it is all cosmetic at this point. A 13-point South Carolina lead, and they're going to the line looking to add to it. Latson hits another. Dawn Staley yesterday talking about UConn said they have been the standard in women's basketball for a very long time, and everyone has to measure up to the standard. They allow us something to reach for. It helps us all grow. It helps us all game plan. They find ways to just measure ourselves up to them and possibly beat them. That's what South Carolina has done in recent years, and again tonight.
South Carolina
2022 was a performance like this in the national championship game. Stifling defense in a South Carolina win last year. UConn stormed out and blew out South Carolina. And tonight, revenge for the Gamecocks.
Been a team effort, certainly, for South Carolina, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. 4 different players in double figures. They've been sharing the basketball. Different players have made big shots in the right moments for the Gamecocks.
Just a slight difference, game and shot clock. Latson kicks it out. Dawn Staley telling her team, hold it. There'll be one final inbound here. The officials will hold the players. Now Dawn and Gino getting into it a little bit on the sideline as Gino has to be held back. And Dawn and Gino, that's part of what makes this rivalry such a compelling one, as they exchanged words at center court. There does have to be one final inbound here before this game. It's double zeros. South Carolina has stunned UConn. The Gamecocks will play for a national title on Sunday afternoon. And you could see Dawn Staley saying, I would never do that. I would never do that to him. As Gino Auriemma walks back to the locker room alone. But South Carolina dominates Connecticut in the second half. 62-48 the final.